For those who need information very quickly, we take this apart in this video and we find the build quality is pretty good. Actually, I think the serviceability is better than the previous model, the Mega 1 that they sell. This one was really easy to open and take the circuit boards out on. And also, since this has double the capacity, electrical capacity, compared to the Mega 1, the Mega 1 was very well geared towards running tools in remote locations, whereas this one seems like it's better geared towards blackout situations and bringing the power grid to you in emergency situations. The Mega 1 worked a little bit in our last blackout, but this one will work better. Also, Oupes wants me to say that, you know, they're doing all sorts of deals, and I'm hoping to have the links in the description all fairly updated every so often, so you can get a discount code down there. Well, here's the video. This video is going to function as my preliminary analysis of the Oupes Mega 2 power pack, power station. The Oupes Mega 1, I found it ended up being a really, really important tool in my tool set, because when I get called on a welding job, I can just bring that, and it can run welders, it can run pretty much anything. When I first got it, I kind of poo-pooed it a little bit because it does have a high self-discharge whenever it's just running on idle. But then I realized, oh, that's because it's always ready to run huge power loads. The only thing that the Oupes Mega 1 couldn't run was my friend's Makita air compressor. It just can't quite get it started, but that's a big compressor. Oh. So grid power is comparison. This one, though, as you saw, also can't run it. So that tells me that the inverter is roughly the same as the Mega 1. I say that's a good thing, because even though the Mega 1 can run a tool for about 8 hours, it can run my mortar saw for 8 hours, and I do not want to be cutting mortar for repointing for 8 hours straight. So it has plenty of power for tools. Well, like a month ago, we had a huge power outage in town, and Theis's mother and aunt were out of power for days. And the Mega 1, it did good for keeping things running, but we had it running 2 refrigerators. They had just bought a whole bunch of food, and we didn't want it to go to waste, so we bring the Oupes Mega 1 over there, and it would run the 2 refrigerators for about 3 hours to get the temperatures back down. And once we got the temperatures back down a little bit, it would last 4 or 5 hours. But still, we wish there was a little more capacity. So I believe this is the same, it seems to be about the same inverter, but on a double-sized battery. So it won't be wasting any more power. It's not like it's waiting to start something as big as that air compressor. It's only working to start the same things that the other one was working to start. And so it's only operating on that same, it's only wasting the same amount of power. So with a double-sized battery, it seems like this is actually this is leaning much better towards emergency power storage. Now, I just disconnected my air conditioner from my solar panel system that I built, and I'm hoping that this is going to be my main tool running, and also sometimes running my air conditioner at my shop. I wish to do a teardown on it. I wish to give it a really good look. And I also want to see the reliability of it. There we go. It sounded a little bit funny. You can hear the inverter a little bit, but it started the compressor pretty well. So now, if this was fully charged, it would be able to run my air conditioner for about 4 hours, which isn't too bad. That's actually a pretty good amount of power. And I'm thinking, because I also had them send me solar panels, in a future video, this is going to have its own shelf. It's going to be mounted on the wall, and I might even run my own cabling so my saws and stuff can run off of this. Whereas I said the Mega 1 probably wouldn't be very good for like recreational camping and stuff like that, because, well, or overnight things, because its own self-discharge rate means that it would only last 12 hours. Well, this one, while having the AC lines running, can last 24 hours, so you get a full day worth out of it. And the USB side of things is even more efficient. So if you have USB operated stuff, you could probably last for days with this. So that, I would say, I would aim for this one if you didn't have to have it as a mobile tool. The Mega 1, I kept having to take it up 3 flights of stairs, move it to just weld something onto a pipe, and I wouldn't want to have to carry this up steps. But if you could just have this in your car, I think this would be the one to go for, and keep the Mega 1 to be the very nimble one. Because the Mega 1, it is technically light enough to where you can carry it one-handed. This, though, I can only carry it about 300 feet before I gotta sit it down and sit on it, and then I go another 300 feet in about 5 minutes. It's a bit heavy. Now, that being said, I did build myself a cart for my batteries, and this battery cart works perfect for this thing. Works absolutely perfectly. I recently had a job where somebody came with a broken trailer loader screw thing, whatever that thing is called, and I had to re-weld it. So I had this on hand, and it was easily able to run the welder. It was not stressed at all. The Mega 1 can run so many different types of welders that I've found. It can even run my TIG welder. And so the Mega 2, it was no challenge for it. But I was kind of worried about moving it. It would be pretty heavy, until I realized, right, I have the battery cart. So that's when I put it on the battery cart, and it just came right out on the concrete. If it was grass or dirt or sand, maybe make a different solution for that. Maybe make like a little sled or something. I should make sure my welding helmet is on.
Will not be anywhere near this. I already have enough floaters in my eyes. I don't need more.
Driving home first.
I have no use for it in my life. Boy, I love it.
All right, thank you.
See ya! They sent me 2 solar panels. They were going to send me 1, and I was like, could you pretty please send me 2? Enough to run the air conditioner in almost real time. And I'm so glad I did, because these are going to be put on the top of my building, and I'll be doing a long-term test to see how well do these last being outside for a year. So if you really need, can you buy these and just strap them to your car or something? Might be a good option. I hope to find out. I plugged it in, and I found these are pretty nicely sized. On a day with a little bit of clouds, we're getting 170 watts of power. I think when I put these 2 together, this battery pack might be more able to use the 50 volts that the 2 batteries will make instead of the 24 or so volts that the 1 panel makes. Well, guys, I was sitting over here and I decided maybe I should finally look at what the Bluetooth app for it does. And I've always been really negative about apps for things because they always tend to shoehorn you into getting an account and stuff like that. But the Oupes app, actually, it wants you to make an account, but you can just decline. And you can immediately... And it's gone. Already gone. I figured it would go away eventually, but I sent the preview video off to Oupes, and they said, oh, actually, that app will just continue just this night. Now they have Cleanergy, which requires an app account. And I happen to notice that it just looks like it's a copy-paste of a bunch of other apps like Winergy and stuff that also come up. So they say they don't collect data. I don't believe that. And I think that you shouldn't have to have an account for most of these features. You just shouldn't. This reminds me of whenever I got a webcam, and it was the day after YouTube stopped, after like 15 years or 10 years, stopped allowing direct uploads from webcams. I got a webcam finally the day after. So the Oupes app is actually called Oupes, and it's 1.1.8. That's the version number if you want to sideload it. I ran it for about an hour. We're down to 34%. Tomorrow I'll run for a little bit more. Actually, no, tomorrow's going to be 99 degrees. I won't be around tomorrow. The next day I'll run it down, and once we get it down to about 5%, we can open it up. Well, I ended up having to come into the shop today because somebody wanted to pick up a VCR, and oh, the compressor just turned on. Only 341 watts. That's not bad at all. And it's running the 1935 fridge, the TV, and the fan. That doesn't take all that much power at all, I find. And it's... My friend David, who restores these, he mentioned how this model, I think the CK monitor top, has the better insulation. So that's really fascinating that it's only using a little bit of power. The humidity is so low that I don't have to have the air conditioner running. I would not be able to cool this place. It's 92 degrees in here, 97 outside. And this finally came in the mail. I bought this for the TV. It was $6, and it works. But I had to take the battery out to give with the controller for the other VCR that I sold today. And yeah, this one actually works on that one. Because this front panel doesn't quite work. I was able to run the air conditioner for another 45 minutes at only like a few percent. And then it got error 002, out of power. But that means we can finally take it apart. Forgive the rain sound. Whew. Well, shit. This is why I discharged it. Oh, these are not magnetic. Okay. All right, let's take a look at this. We have a 40 amp fuse, it looks like. Lots of contactors. With, looks like some conformal coating or whatever the term is called. I don't see anything out of the ordinary with the build quality. Build quality looks pretty good. I'll be able to tell more by using it for a year, but the quality looks good. Let's look at these cells. Lithium ion. Oh, you know what? A lot of the Chinese sellers tend to call lithium iron phosphate lithium ion, so these are probably still lithium iron phosphate, which is good. Rated capacity 20 amp hours. Manufacturing date 13/03/2025. I find it really interesting that this one has this aluminum frame. That's very, very needed. I like that. I'm going to turn this thing upside down. It's really hard to do that, but I'm going to turn it upside down to see if I can just get any more screws out of it, because there's two that are unaccounted for, and I would hate to just assume they went on the ground. Okay, so I think we don't have any spare screws in there. That makes me happier. This is the control board for the USB-C, USB-A, or USB-B, I can't remember for sure, and the 12 volts. So that's what this board does. Then it looks like, yeah, this board is the main inverter. It actually is bigger, so I wonder if it can provide more power. It might just be that it can provide more power simultaneously, and not so much that it can provide more power for startup current. Unless you have to use this one to start up the air compressor. I'll see if I can get an adapter and give that a try. I found it interesting that once I turned it on, that light lit up. I love these cells. I wish I could just get a company to send me a bunch of those for free. Okay, so I'm actually really pleased by this design compared to the Mega 1. This being built around an aluminum structure is really good, actually. And it seems easier to open up. A little bit easier. A little more robust. Has to be due to all the weight. I would like to know a little more about the inverter And why it isn't playing well with that compressor. Maybe because it's on a 20 amp output. I don't feel like buying the connector for that, so I'd like to know what you think. And I guess I should put this back together. The back does open up. Oh, and I see there are some pins there, so those may be diagnostic pins. If any of my viewers have issues with these, I may be interested in repairing them, because I want my shop, once I get the deli open and I get through some refrigeration experiments and I get some metal scrapped, I'm hoping to do some research on repairing newer products. There's not too many people out there that, well, there's not enough people out there that spend time to figure out how to repair something new. And the rate at which they're coming out with new things, well, you have to spend a lot of effort to find new ways to fix things. Okay, I'll put it back together now. It actually kind of stuck back down. I was kind of surprised. I didn't feel like it would be sticky enough. I was going to try charging this with my 12-volt charger. Well, charging off of my 12-volt batteries, but I don't feel like cleaning it off to put it over there. I feel like just finishing work on the shop, organizing things. And this is eventually going to go on the wall somewhere, so I can have power in the shop. And we can charge this up with the solar panels, so we can get a little bit of power every single day just from that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, guys, that's pretty much it. I think that's a pretty good preliminary look at this. Later on, if I ever have any issues, I'll be able to consult the views that I got inside of it. I didn't take any high quality pictures, but I'll be able to consult the views inside of it. If you guys have any issues with these, let me know. You might be able to send me the circuit board or send me the whole thing, and I can see about trying to repair it. That might be an interesting business I could do. And I have more work that I have to do in order to make more room in the shop. I made some new shelving. Haven't really put stuff on the shelving yet. And I'm stripping copper cables, so only one small pile of copper cables left. I'm hoping to do copper melting and casting later on. And I want to make a shelf for this, so this can be up on the wall. And I figure that can just be a Solar Sunday series for in the future. Unfortunately, I've been too busy with helping a lot of the businesses in the area. Just too much stuff happening. But, I mean, it's good to have business. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Thank you very much, Oupes, for sending me this. Oupes, I don't know, oops. See ya. Here's a look at the solar panels. I plan to be doing a very long-term exploration on how well these last. I thought that was a mosquito on my arm. I was kind of